we're doing 2 more problems in the no calculator part of the final review. You will see a 3 by 3 determinant, and we're going to have to use the process called using the diagonal method to solve this. So we're going to put a 9, a 1, and a 4. When you guys are organizing this, very important that you keep things organized. That would sound a little redundant there, but it's important that things aren't just put wherever you feel like it. All right. Now, what 2 columns go here? The first 2. Right. So we got to carefully place those. 9, 1, and 4, and a negative 5, a 2, and a negative 2. By the way, this method will only work if you actually use the correct numbers and write them down. If you forget a negative sign, that's not going to be good. Now that I've lined things up, notice you can easily draw in your diagonals. Now, obviously, if you don't have a highlighter, you can just circle or group them together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the product of the first diagonal, we're going to add the product of the second diagonal, and then we're going to add the product of the third diagonal, which is going to give us an answer that we're going to need to use later. All right? So the product of the first diagonal is 9 times 2 times negative 2. That gets us a negative 36. The second one's a negative 5, a 1, and a 4, which gets us a negative 20. And the last is 8 times 1 times negative 2, which is a negative 16. You add these suckers all together, you get a negative 72. And we're done with the first part of the diagonal method. Now I'm going to change colors. I'll start with the 4, work my way diagonally going up towards the 8. And negative 2, working my way up all the way to the 9. And finally, negative 2, working my way up to the negative. And you're going to find the product of all 3 of those. So we'll have the product of the first diagonal plus the product of the second plus the product of the third, knowing that eventually I'm going to be subtracting the first sum from the first sum minus the second sum. So here we go. We've got a 4, a 2, and an 8. That's 8 times 8 gets us a 64. Negative 2, 1, and a 9 gets us a negative 18. Negative 2, 1, and a negative 5 gets us a positive 10. All right. So basically we have 64 plus a 10 minus an 18. What does that give us? It's a negative, not negative, a positive 56. Positive 56, all right? So basically, by hand, you can take the 64 and the 10, add them together, you get 74, and just take away an 18. Remember the old farm method? 14 minus 8 is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. Okay? Now, you're going to take the blue. Oh, that's okay. Take the blue answer, which is a negative 72. Make sure you take away your second answer, which is a 56. And when you do that, you get the final answer of a negative 128. Now, if you're not sure how to subtract these together, what I like to do is I like to pretend like I'm adding 2 negatives together. You add them together, there's 2 and 6 gives you an 8. 7 and 5 gets you a 12, and you know they're both negative. Okay? So you can add that. And this right here is your answer for the what? For the 3 by 3 determinant. All right, final problem. We're going to be finding the area of a triangle just knowing the location of the points. So here is the formula. All right, the absolute value of A, all right, the area, is going to equal 1/2 of the determinant known as A times B. A, C, D, 1, E, F, 1. I'm going to label this one. Here's your A, there's your B, there's your C, There's your D. Here's your E. Here's your F. So we're going to set this up, everybody. We've got 1/2 times a -8, a 4, and a 1, a 2, a 6, and a 1, and a 3, -2, and a 1. And what I'm going to do once again, I'm using the diagonal method. So I'm going to take the first 2 columns and carefully place them just to the right. All right, now that we have everything set up, I'm going to carefully make my diagonals. Product of the first plus the product of the second plus the product of the third. Product of the first, everybody, is going to be a what? -48. Product of the second, 12. Product of the third, -4. Alright. Now, what do we got to do? We got to add all these together. So this gets me a -52. When I add 12 to that, it's going to get me what? At a -40 right there. So -40. Diagonals going up. Okay. Group those together. Product of the first plus the product of the second plus the product of the third. We've got 3 times 6 times 1, 18, -2 times 1 times -8, 16, 1 times 2 times 4, 8. These are all positive, that's nice. Okay. So we've got 18 plus 16, that's 34. 34 plus 8, yeah, 42. Now, what are we going to do? We got to take the first one and do what with it? Take away the second one. So we have what? We have -40 minus 42. Now, this gives me a what? -82. Well, what do I have to do with this? I got to take it and multiply it by the scalar of a what? Of a half, okay? Alright, so I multiply it by a half, that gets me a -41. But wait, if this is the area right here, we have to take the what? The absolute value of whatever number that is, because you can't have a negative area, right? So we're going to say that's 41 units squared. And that's the area of the triangle. You'll have one problem like this, okay? But since we have a few minutes remaining, let's go and do it on our calculator, see if we get it right. All right? So does everybody have this original determinant right here? We're going to build it. All right? Don't you roll your eyes at me over there. I saw that rolling in your eyes. Yes, you rolled your eyes. I saw you. That was an excellent 7th grade eye roll you did there. Did you master it in 7th grade? The 7th grade eye roll? Possibly. All right. So I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to hit second, x to the -1. Go to the right where it says Edit Suite. There's already a 3x3 waiting for me to build. I need your help, Zach. Do you have the numbers that go in there? You don't? You didn't write those down? Jacob, do you have the numbers? Need to get them?
Oh, no, I think I got them. I just need to get the real order.
Oh, okay. Okay, pause it. All right, we're just going to take this part right here and put it into our calculator. All right, so what do we have?
-8.
-8.
4.
4. 1. Next row.
2.
2.
6.
6. 1. Last row.
3.
3.
-2.
-2. 1. Okay, cool. So now we have matrix A. All right. We want to find the determinant of that, but then take half of it. So we're going to hit second row, second, x to the -1. Go to the right where it says math, where you can find the determinant. And then we're going to hit second, x to the -1. We're going to select A. We're going to close it, press enter. That gets us a -82. Sweet, we did it right. Times half. We're going to take the absolute value of that. absolute value of negative 41, which is a positive 41. So we did all the work that we did there by hand was indeed correct. All right, so we have 8 non-calculator problems that will look exactly like those, just with the numbers being changed.